Good afternoon. My name is Dave Turner. I'm the Commercial Director of Topspeed Couriers, and I'd like to talk to you today about what we can do in and around Class 7 radioactive transport. Hopefully I won't take too much of your time. What I will run through is a bit about the company, the way we're structured, our accreditations, something about our driver training, something about the fleet we operate, a little bit about our coverage and our major customers, and just wrap it up at the end there and leave you to draw your own conclusions. Okay. Topspeed is based in Winsford in Cheshire. We moved there just about 18 months ago. It's been our second move in something like 15 years as the company's grown over time. We currently employ about 120, 125 full-time staff, of which 105, 110, some of that range are drivers. Founded something in late 1980s by Stephen Clegg, who is still the company chief executive, and more importantly is the company's DGSA. Steve has spent a lot of time in the radioactive transport industry and has been instrumental in setting up many groups and dealing with Ramtuck and things like that. And I think he's considered within the industry as a bit of a sage and a bit of an expert. The operations element is managed by Gillian Lockley, who's our managing director. I support Gillian as commercial director, and we have a new trainee called Joanna Pearson, who's joined us as commercial manager. And in the next few months, she'll be up and running fully out and about, trying to sell more of our services. Our accreditations, or our HR, is looked after by the third director, who is Sarah Clegg, and she's been with the company some time. So as you can see, it's a fairly experienced, fairly well thought out team of organisers or team of management. Of course, like most industries, we have a range of accreditations, starting initially, I think, some years ago with the standard quality management, ISO 9001. We've added to that 14001 environmental management. 2 or 3 years ago, we added the 22301 business community continuity, 27001 information security. We've been assessed for Cyber Essentials Plus. We are regularly audited by the Office of Nuclear Regulation and also the DVLA. So we can spend a significant amount of management time making sure we're compliant, making sure we're in charge or on top of our industry standards, and making sure everything we do is not only compliant but extremely safe, and that flows down through the company. We're slightly different from most other courier businesses, and we think that gives us a distinctive capability. We tend to specialise in markets where security, certainty, compliance, and end-to-end traceability is really crucial, especially where there's high consequences of loss or delays are significantly high. So although we will do some general courier work, picking up A, taking to B, etc., a lot of the stuff we do is stuff that can't go wrong, and there's a price to pay or questions to answer should it be mislaid or you don't have a complete trace over it. And that suits the radioactive transport extremely well. We do this, by the way, we manage both our fleet and our drivers, and I'll take each of those in turn. Starting with our drivers, of the 100 and so drivers we have, they're all employed by the company, and we don't subcontract any work at all. We think that's a key point. It allows us to look after those drivers, train those drivers, we take responsibility for those drivers, but also we can manage their work and control their work almost, if we wanted to, by the minute. That gives us a high level of control, high level of security, and is apt really for the sort of carriages that we take. All of our drivers are DBS checked. Some do work in the security areas around forensic science, and they're more highly vetted around SC clearance and greater sterling terms of ministry and justice. And every driver is trained by a very comprehensive in-house manual. Now that manual has been developed for years and years and years and is pretty good now. It covers everything from driving, safe driving, expected behaviours, rules and regulations, transport rules, tells the drivers exactly what to do should they get themselves into a situation and or how to avoid getting into such situations. Around half those drivers are vocationally trained to some other level of ADR or some other industry-specific training. and they're the guys that we tend to use for our Class 7 and Class 7 transport. They will all wear company uniform, they will all carry ID, the ID will show their level of training, they all carry driving licenses, and the ID is photo ID. They carry trackers, they're contactable all the time, they carry company mobile phones, and more importantly, as part of vehicle control and safety, every day, every driver has to go through a series of security checks, vehicle condition checks, maintenance checks, just to make sure from the time he starts out on his job and gets back to his job, the vehicle's going to get through a journey without too many major incidents. There is also something which is quite innovative in that our drivers are paid a small monthly bonus. They manage to drive within speed limits, within rules, safely and efficiently, and that's all monitored by the onboard tracking mechanisms in the vehicles. As I say, we have 100 company-owned vehicles, including an 18-ton truck, all Mercedes, and a range of sizes from small sedans, medium-range Vitos, medium wheelbases, long wheelbases, sprinters, and a couple of Luton vehicles. Everyone is fully tracked. We know where it is at any moment of the time, but we don't share that tracking information outside of the organisation. And I know some customers like to see that or would like access to see that. But we actually believe that we have it password controlled, staff protected, and it's only Topspeed employers and managers that have access to that information. We believe that just gives us an extra degree of security, and if there's an issue with any customers or want to know where their vehicle is or think it's running a bit late, they are one phone call away from a 24/7 administration office that will put them right in 30 or 40 seconds. Every vehicle has forward-facing cameras. Every vehicle has slam lock doors and solid bulkheads. They're all maintained in-house to warranty and to standard. They're serviced regularly, and they're distributed across the UK with an allocated company driver who takes it home every night and starts his work from base the next day. As you can imagine, those capabilities give us a bit of a leg up when it comes to doing specialised materials, and Class 7 being one of them. As I mentioned earlier, we hold all the accreditations to carry Class 7. We've been doing this work for something like 15 or so years, and Steve Clegg's DGSA has been the lead role in setting that up. We do have 2 other DGSAs on the team, so there's always somebody available to answer your questions on both of those work in the management team. So we think that we're pretty well skilled to handle any sorts of jobs. In terms of experience, we're on most nuclear licensed sites every day. Wood Energy, Magnox, British Nuclear Energy, Veolia, Socotec, to name but a few. We carry radiopharmaceuticals for in Edinburgh Hospital, Manchester University, so we're experienced in being able to turn up, pick up something, get it in the vehicle and get it to its dispensing place while the half-life is still fairly strong. We have an excellent record of being able to achieve that. And we carry almost every range of radioactive package. This would include Type A package, Type 2 packages, sealed sources, extractive packages, low-level waste, and radioactive medicines, as I said. Perhaps one of the highlights of the year is when we sit down with one of our customers and go through a disaster scenario where we'll have a driver on the road and we'll ring him up and we'll give him an emergency situation, tell him his vehicle's on fire, tell him to pull over, and we work through the entire emergency chain and what they should do in any sort of incident. We've got quite colourful over the years. We've had fires, we've had radio breakdowns, we've had drivers collapsing on the roadside, and slowly over the years we've worked through an entire catalogue of things that go wrong, and we've got documented fixes, and everybody in the management team is trained how to handle those types of incidents. So we believe we're ideally placed to offer transport to customers that will need this type of service. As I say, it's been going for some time, and we welcome talking to anybody in the industry about what their needs might be, how we can help them, and how we can put either projects, regular work, project work, one-off pieces of work together, considering the size of fleet we've got, and do a satisfactory job for them. If anybody's interested, please feel free to call me or contact me, Dave Turner, at Topspeed Couriers, and either Steve Clegg or Joanna Pearson, all on the same free phone company number, easily found in the directory. So thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to talking to you in the future. Thank you.